All right, we're going to make just a few announcements here. Hopefully everyone's had some time to enjoy the lunch. I want to preface this by saying I'm not a medical expert, but I want to remind all of you that there will be testing here tomorrow for those that are traveling back to the United States. We have been convinced many times over that the test that happens tomorrow that is a rapid will be accepted by the airlines, every airline. Do not ask me. You can ask them tomorrow for extra confirmation. And if you want to take the test just for peace of mind because you were at a conference and you're headed back home, you can certainly do that as well. If you are traveling again back to the United States, I would ask that you please talk to the administrator and just tell them this is for travel, and they'll make sure you get all the paperwork you need. That is tomorrow, 7:30 to 5:30, so it's all day. It's a rapid. You're going to get it back within 15, 30 minutes, something like that. And do we know what room it is? It's one of these rooms here. It'll be in one of the rooms. Farley, the Farley room tomorrow. Varley, that's what I meant. Varley with a V. Another quick announcement, continuing education credits. If you're looking for continuing education credits and you're here in person, please, you can go to the desk, the BCA desk with Sherry or Nicole or anyone, and grab one of the physical papers. We still have those physical papers there with actual pens, and you could fill that out and get your credits. Just make sure you don't fill out credits for all 3 tracks at the same time because we will check. If you are virtual, if you're listening virtually, you can do it all online. If you're here, you can do it on the online platform as well. Just may be easier to use the actual physical piece of paper. Any questions on the AIA credits? All right. So this is also another fun part of all the conferences that we host. We get to kind of give out some awards. So I guess I'll announce it here. As of last night, we had our annual dinner last night at the Hockey Hall of Fame, which was awesome. Those of you who attended, I could probably say the same. We give out the President's Award every year at the annual dinner, and this year's President's Award was handed to Mr. Kevin Thurston. So he's watching remotely. So Kevin, if you're watching this now, congratulations again. Might as well give him a round of applause, right, Kevin Thurston? Also, again, those of you who were with us this morning obviously saw the presentations of the Better Award, which is also obviously very special to all of us. That was LB&L and Mr. Tom Poling. So again, congratulations. The announcement was made, I think, about a week ago for the 20 under 40 winners. Most of those are not here today, so I would ask all of you to go back to the BCA website, check out our LinkedIn page, and check out all the winners of our 20 under 40. We're really excited to continue this awards program year over year. Gotten a lot of engagement, and obviously goes to show you we have a nice rising tide here with future staff in the commissioning industry. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our President-elect, Mr. John Runkle, and he's going to go through some project awards that we're going to hand out right now.
Thank you, Ryan. Just to recap, so if you had any questions, customs integrations, testing-wise, medical, anything like that, Ryan's your guy, right? He's good, thank you. It's good, good. Yeah, and just with Kevin and Tom, you know, you sense this humility, and yeah, I heard it with Tom, almost like, hey, I don't even know that I deserve this, and it's like, it couldn't be farther from the truth, that these folks have put blood, sweat, and tears into the effort, into the organization, and, you know, same with the 20 under 40, and we have some in the conference here and so forth, and then the same thing with these project submissions. I will say one of the most difficult assignments was to actually look at the submissions, rate the submissions, talk about them, and it's a shame that we couldn't give an award to everybody. But it's important to know that this is not a participation award. If you get announced today, you've done something pretty special, because there's a lot of ones that are not going to be announced today that, in my opinion, were deserving. We had long, hard fights to get even more on the list. The more is what you see now. And it's just because so many of these projects are just special, right? And so thank you for everyone that put a submission together. If for some reason you put a submission together and you don't win, do not be discouraged that this is, never going to happen or things like that. Please submit again. It's just great to see, to be able to see our members share what they've done, right? And this is part of the education that you've heard. Part of the experience is to learn what other people are doing, and what better way to do that. So without further ado, we will get to the first award. And this first award is in the new construction category, which is our most competitive category. So, kudos. Do we have the PowerPoint coming up here? So there we go. It is the SeaTac International Airport, the new international arrivals facility in Seattle, Washington. The owner was the Port of Seattle. The commissioning provider was McKinstry. Fire Life Safety, Jensen Hughes. Architect was RWDI. Contractor was Clark Construction Group. And I'm sorry, I got to read this, folks. I didn't have this memorized. This was a new 425,000 square foot international arrivals facility. It comprises 3 separate buildings. The building itself was a sterile corridor, and I wasn't exactly sure what that was, but what that means is we're not mixing domestic and international travelers. There's a 1,000-foot-long, mostly glass pedestrian way that's 110 feet in the air. The project required installation and commissioning of over 600 individual pieces of mechanical equipment. Sounds like a lot. 200 pieces of electrical equipment, 14 unique smoke control scenarios. The project was part of an operational airport, so throughout this whole process, there was integration that needed to be occurred with TSA, security, operational personnel, and the commissioning team needed to coordinate with those throughout the way. Field testing was conducted mostly at night and between midnight and 5 a.m., so I'm sure that was fun. So Craig maybe could share some stories about midnight testing and so forth. So, yeah, come on. So anyone that involved with that project, come on up, please.
You actually want me to say something?
I know you do.
Okay. I don't need that. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, then how can I point at things? So when we said that this was actually 3 buildings, you can see on the picture that what you're seeing is maybe a quarter of the footprint of SeaTac Airport. It goes quite a ways the other direction, but this is on the south end. And what we did is the brightly lit kind of U-shaped thing in the bottom, that is a standalone building that touches the existing airport in only 2 places. There's actually landscaping in between. We call it the interior terrarium because there's all glass around it. We bolted that onto an existing terminal, and we could not shut down airport operations for even 5 minutes. Everything had to be done around airport operations. That's why we're working in the middle of the night. The skinny little thing that looks like it's laying on top, and it's got an angle to it that's all square, and it kind of follows the line of the building. That's the sterile corridor that we had to build on top of an existing terminal. And we could not disrupt operations as we were building this thing that sits on the roof of the building, which extremely difficult to do. But that allows SeaTac to use existing domestic gates as international gates. We have a way to transfer from a vestibule to a pass-through, and allows them to now have 4 more gates that they didn't have before. And then the bridge, which is that brightly lit thing across the top, that is a spectacular piece of architecture. It is over 1,000 feet long, sits 110 feet up in the air. And why 110 feet? Well, we figured out that if a 747 was taxiing underneath it and lost its front gear, if it went down, the top of the tail would be 108 feet. So we added 2 feet just as a buffer. That's how we got there. And so if you come into the terminal, which is all the way at the back, you can see all the planes around it. You get off the airplane there, you've got to go through that walkway down into IAF. Now, before the existing international rivals facility is about the size of this room. We went from that to this, but it took us 6 years to do it. And unfortunately, we're 17 months late in delivery and we're still not done. $450 million over budget, not my problem, but those are the kind of things that we're worrying about. So it was an extremely intense project. I've been on it for almost 6 years. It is my last project. When I'm finally done, I am going to retire. And because it's not done, it's still continuing on, my badge expires, my TSA badge expires on December 22nd. So I told them, you're either done with the building or you're done with me on December 22nd, because I'm not renewing my badge. I'm absolutely done. But I want to thank the BCA for recognizing our hard work. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks, man. Wow.
Congratulations, Craig. This has been really helpful. So if you have any trouble getting with your flights or anything, you're missing your connection, just call Craig. He knows everything about airlines, apparently. So I guess that hopefully the next person is going to do our taxes or something, maybe. This will be great. Okay.
Experience that.
Love it. All right. The next one is under the major renovation category. So we're switching categories. We will come back to new construction, I assure you. And this one is, this was a very unique project. Yeah, I don't have a clicker. They got to do it. Yep, sorry. There we go. University of Utah, the Rice Eccles Stadium, south end zone renovation. This is, the owner was University of Utah. I can say firsthand that this was their most extensive, critical project that they've done in years, especially from a scheduling standpoint. The commissioning provider was ETC Group, so Vince down here. The Rice Eccles Stadium is home to the University of Utah football team, also the site of the 2002 Winter Olympic Games. South end zone renovation, including tearing down the existing structure, building a new 192,000 square foot structure incorporating team locker rooms, concession stands, amenities. They're trying to get into that big Pac-12 recruiting mode there. 6,200 seats and new VIP boxes. It also included moving the Olympic cauldron and onto a new pedestal. Turned it into a waterfall and a pool. The project was also enclosed a new horseshoe shape that got turned into a ball. So now you can walk around the whole stadium, which is great. My wife hates that when you can't, you got to go like all the way around. There you go. And most importantly, the project had to be done before the start of this year's football season. So University of Utah. ETC Group was engaged during the design, remained involved throughout construction. Again, a condensed cycle here. The architects and engineers, and they used a target value approach to establish the best systems. The CXP was proactively involved during all team weekly meetings. Got to be when you have that close coordination that's required. And again, with the GC and trades as well. The project's targeting LEED Silver certification and meeting the carbon neutral goals for 2050 for the DFCM and the University of Utah. The facility was designed with water-to-water heat pumps to provide heating and cooling water to the new systems with heat rejection to a geothermal well. That sounds impressive, so that's good. ETC is providing the ongoing commissioning for 2 years post-construction to track the equipment trends and verify high-performance goals continue to be met in accordance with LEED and the University and Utah's high-performance building standards. So congratulations, and thank you. Come on up. So here to accept is Vince with ETC. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You gonna do our taxes?
No, I
feel free to
can't do your
volunteer.
taxes, I can't. So like Craig has his interesting, unique perspective from a airport. I don't know if anybody's ever worked in the football arena or the sports. Adds a whole new complexity to how the commissioning is done. Not only, I have to say one thing. So this is the one project that I've worked on that COVID actually helped us. So where you can see here where the white bleachers are sitting. So that where that's where the Clark Building used to sit. And how they were going to do it was in phasing, and yet the end date never changed. Because football was going to start on September 2nd, come hell or high water. So that's where the Clark Building used to sit, and then they were going to build a framework around it. And then COVID hit, and everybody kind of looked at each other and went, you know, we can demo that and do this all as one project. So that's been an interesting challenge. So the scoreboard here you actually see is actually the existing scoreboard, so they built all the steel around it, tied it in, so that added some unique challenges to keep it up and running, to make sure that it was operational for commencement and everything else. A lot of refeeds for the electrical portion of it, and having to deal with the politics, of the donors and the Olympic cauldron. So not only you're dealing with the University of Utah, the state, you also have to deal with the Olympic Committee and actually moving the cauldron. So it was a unique project. And now I'm still dealing with the heat pump and the geothermal. And as Ryan says, we had lawyers involved. Thank you.
Congratulations. Vince, I missed the part about season tickets. Were you going to get to that later? Or is it? Okay, back to new construction. So if we can go to the next slide, please. One Vanderbilt Tower, New York, New York. The owner is SL Green Realty Corp. Commissioning provider, JB&B. One Vanderbilt Avenue is a SL Green Realty Corp's $1.7 million usable square footage, usable 1.7 million usable square foot, 1,400 foot tall skyline defining tower. That is impressive. So, located directly adjacent to Grand Central Station and developed in partnership with Hines and the National Pension Service of Korea. Construction began in the fall of 2016. The project includes JBB's field involvement with commissioning, began with design, and proceeded for 4 years until the spring of 2020, when the building received its certificate of substantial completion. As of May 2021, the building received the LEED V3 Platinum, impressive, and LEED V4 Gold certifications. The commissioning process for a job of this magnitude was extremely complex due to the size of the building, the relationship to the future offices and retail tenants, and coordination among the myriad of public transportation options connecting the tower. I can imagine so. JB&B Field worked with the engineer of records, a separate independent team. If you have any questions about independence and commission, you can talk to Mr. Pooling over there. He'll get you straightened out. To identify inconsistencies in the design documentation, coordination of issues between trades, best industry practice. Progression into construction, the JB Field team led coordination meetings, performed tasks associated with equipment testing, cloud-based construction management tool was used to submit forms and track documentation. To kickstart the functional performance test, the teams agreed to complete certain functional performance testing without chilled or hot water by simulating conditions and manipulating set points. The field team worked with the tab contractor to certify 4x4 air handling units despite having no downstream ductwork installed in the tenant spaces. In early 2021, JB&B Field coordinated an occupied building pull the plug test and further integrated systems testing into the summer of 2021, closing out 11 integrated systems over the course of 2 weeks. And despite what you may think, we have Connor to thank for this, not Ryan. So Connor, come on up here. Great job. And SL Green, yes. Oh, SL Green's here too. Yeah, thank you.
I've actually got John Wilcox and Jimmy Hollywood from SL Green here to accept.
Chief Engineer, and I'm the Director of Engineering. Previously on the commissioning team at JB&B for the building. But yeah, this is a great honor. I know we've been tracking the BCA things when I was at JB&B, and then all the other awards that they submit for and do get or don't get. But The building itself is now complete. The big news, I guess, from a marketing perspective, if you're in the city, the observation deck opens this month on the 21st. It'll be very nice, but no, to get here to this point, we have to thank, our CEO, Mark Holliday, Tishman Construction that built it, JB&B, MEP engineer and commissioning provider, our investors, the main investors being SL Green, Hines, and NPS, and our anchor tenant, TD Bank, which coincidentally is in Toronto as well. But yeah, it's a great honor, and we appreciate it. The building is awesome. If you're ever in the city, reach out. We will do anything we can to show you our mechanical rooms and everything that's involved. The East Side Access Project itself, there was a cool video that came out recently, $12 billion project, 40 years in the making. We're connecting to the Long Island Railroad on top of the Grand Central, Metro North Railroad on top of MTA subway, and then everything else going on. So come by, we'll be happy to show you around, and thank you.
Thank you. For you guys. For you. And just take a look at Nicole. Here, Jimmy, come. Scooch in. Scooch in. Don't fall up.
Boy, was I glad to see 2 plaques glow, because I thought I was one short here, so that was good. Okay, if we can go to the next one, we are going to the existing building commissioning category. So this is Mascota, I hope I said that right, High School in Mascota, Illinois. The owner is the Mascota School District, and the commissioning provider is BCxA Group. So the high school is 275,000 square foot, 2-story high school constructed in 2012, serving over 1,000 students with 120 staff members. Since opening, the school has experienced operational issues. The BCxA Group was added to the team investigating the facility's operation to evaluate current operating modes and suggest improvements. In 2017, the engineering study identified 47% in estimated energy savings with the cost savings of $160,000 per year. The project cost was identified as $207,000, which is a pretty good rate of return there. And a utility natural gas incentive of $120K was applied to reduce the overall cost. The payback dropped to just over 6 months. In this case, only the natural gas portion of the utility cost was included in the state's EBCX budget, and the proposed upgrades were implemented over the remainder of the 2017 year. A control system vendor implemented this recommended upgrades, retaining the primary building automation systems and incorporating new operating interface that greatly improves system scheduling options. The BCxA Group worked closely with the contractor and district personnel, providing clarifications and testing the revised control sequences of operations. The lighting includes high efficiency T8 fluorescent lighting with occupancy sensor controls. This project is an example of the value of teamwork and improving building operations while improving indoor environmental conditions. So congratulations to Wayne and Robert. Are they here? Okay, well, let's give them a round of applause. Wayne and Robert, I'm sure you're much better looking in person here. Okay, if we can go to the next one. We're going to stay in the existing building commissioning category. Another tough category, I must admit. This is the Northwell Health Facility in New York, Long Island. The project manager was Northwell Health, and the on-site energy manager was OSEM, or Edison Energy. The Northwell Health is a nonprofit healthcare network comprising of 23 hospitals and nearly 700 outpatient facilities, with a mission to improve the health of the communities they serve. It's the 14th largest healthcare system in the United States. Northwell partnered with NYSERDA and Edison Energy to help develop a comprehensive program to reduce energy consumption that meets their energy goals of 5% reduction. And Energy Steering Committee was established with the energy manager and the primary contact and the strategic energy plan. The strategies included existing building commissioning, the LED lighting upgrades, steam system analysis, efficient equipment selection for new construction, and improved building operations and procurement initiatives. The primary goals are also tracked on building initiative and portfolio basis. Progress is reported to the highest level of the organization by a project leader who works directly with the sites to implement and institute and to attain the savings. This program exemplified and demonstrated the core tenets and values of the BCA essential attributes and the value of commissioning to this critical market sector. Notable things in the program: it impacted the culture, went beyond just the financials. It opened the pathway to greater communications and empowered others to do more after we, the consultants, are gone. So in addition to establishing or identifying savings, the program costs were significantly lowered than the expected, unlike Craig's project, which was $400 million over, due to leveraging existing controls and contracts to resolve issues. Congratulations. I mean, you don't hear that every day, but projects coming in under budget there. The impact of these initiatives is a reduction of the carbon emissions, which I think we're going to be hearing a lot about in the future here, throughout the portfolio. And at the completion of this program, Northwell's carbon footprint will be reduced by 5% and save over 10,000 tons of CO2 emissions. So congratulations. I don't know if Savario's here or Carolyn's here. But, okay, we're going to give them a round of applause anyways. Okay, well, I guess they don't have to make us promise for free handouts if they don't show up here. Okay, the next one is ongoing commissioning. And this should be our final one, I believe. So, this is the Gallier Hall in New Orleans, Louisiana. The owner is the city of New Orleans. The engineer commissioning provider was Green Cross Enterprises. The general contractor says construction manager. Okay. Controls contractor is Synergy Building Solutions. And the utility incentive program is APTIM on behalf of the Energy Smart program. So the Gallier Hall in New Orleans is a historic landmark built from 1845 to 1853. It's a former New Orleans City Hall. It looks like a city hall, and now serves as a venue for specific civil functions, just as mayoral, inaugural, and Mardi Gras balls. The OCX and the existing building services at the Gallier Hall have resulted in an annual savings of $55,000, a 55% reduction from the baseline annual electricity consumption. Off-site access and controls of the building HVAC by GCE Services, which is Green Coast Enterprises, provides ongoing commissioning and the energy management services. To update HVAC and BAS systems to current facility requirements, EBC was needed because HVAC systems was not following the BAS schedules. Simulations for the chilled water systems, cooling and heating ran continuously, and the heating hot water system ran sporadically during warm weather. The team partnered to implement existing building energy conservation measures, and ongoing commissioning continues to sustain and optimize system operations. The Entergy New Orleans Utility Energy Efficiency Program covered 100% of the project cost. So, congratulations. And I don't think we have Greg or Jared, so. And no, Ryan does not get to keep all of these awards. So. All right, I believe that's everything. So thank you for your attention. Sorry about all the reading, but let's give one more round of applause for all of our winners here today. And we hope to have the same level of participation next year in the submissions. It was really great to see so many wonderful projects, so thank you.